Micromax calls this the world's slimmest smartphone, and you must have seen ads around media with Hugh Jackman actually endorsing this phone. So I had to take notice and get my hands on this. I've been using it for a couple of days and these are my first impressions. I am an iPhone 6 user and I like slim form factors, and I like the screen size 4.7 to 4.8 or maybe even 5.1 inches, but nothing beyond that. I don't like very big phones. So this is something I was really interested in, and just take a look at it. At 5.1 millimeters, Micromax claims that this is the world's slimmest smartphone. We have seen other phones like the Vox and the Gioni, but they have certain edges around them which are not the thinnest at 5.1 millimeters. Micromax claims that this all around the phone, from every edge, from every angle, is 5.1 millimeters. And the other big deal is that this is only 97 grams, and as an iPhone user I find this way too light. And you know, my first initial reaction to this was how flimsy could this be? I mean, look at this, 5.1 millimeters, 97 grams. I'm gonna break this very soon. But I've already dropped this once at a height of about 5 feet, and I have to say I was literally scared that I might have broken the screen or there would be a big dent, and I'll show you where the dent is, you know, in a shot. It handled it beautifully. And you know, the thing they say that the bigger they are, the harder they fall, I think the same thing applies here. And to the naked eye, this dent is hardly visible, which is pretty good. Micromax has done a brilliant job. This build quality on this phone is excellent. The Corning Gorilla Glass, the aluminium bezel all around that actually holds the phone together. I think they've done a brilliant job. Now the other thing is, this comes with a 4.8 inch screen, which is 720p resolution. You might be complaining, why not full HD? But at this screen size, it's pretty sharp, and the bump up in battery is actually very significant. At the back, it's got a pretty clean look. You'll see the 8 megapixel camera here, and the speaker here placed at the bottom. Again, you know, in a form factor like this, I thought there's going to be some compromise, but even the speaker was pretty loud and clear. I really liked it. And the battery is of course sealed in. This one is about 2000 milliamp hours, but it's a high density lithium polymer battery, which is why the thin form factor. And if you look at the scores on the Geekbench battery test, I think the phone held up pretty well for its size. It's got a Snapdragon 410 chipset, 2 GB of RAM, and the internal memory is only about 16 GB, and that could be a deal breaker for some people because there is no 32 GB variant out there, and there is no expandable memory option. But having said that, I've used this phone for 2 days and I had no problems, and it is snappy as hell. No performance issues at all. I in fact played graphic intensive games like Modern Combat and even Mortal Kombat, and it handled all of them pretty well. And I think the casual gamer will be more than happy with this. And obviously, if you draw comparisons with some of the premium flagship smartphones and more powerful phones out there, of course it falters, but I think it can handle most games with ease. And the other big thing that was a concern was the heating issue. Now, every slim form factor phone, it's a big concern, because how does it actually dispel the heat? And most of the new chipsets that we've seen from Snapdragon, some of them are actually not handling that pretty well. So we were a little concerned about that. But we have to say the Sliver 5 handled most games with ease without any heating. But of course, long sessions in graphic intensive games, you will feel the normal warming up at the back of the phone, which is normal to most of the phones, nothing drastic. Now, you know, we are not so hung up about benchmark scores, but most of you actually ask for them in our videos, so we still do them. It's all about the user experience, and that's where the Sliver 5 rocks. I'm telling you, as an iPhone 6 user, I absolutely love this phone. It's got a great camera, great front-facing camera, and most of the shots are pretty good, especially the rear camera. I think the colors look great, and in good lighting you'll be more than happy with its performance. It's only under poorly lit situations where there was a good amount of grain, and that was unacceptable. Overall, I think that the Sliver 5 is a brilliant phone. I had a lot of apprehensions about this phone in terms of build quality and how it will perform. But let me tell you, my perspective is completely changed. Build quality is great, camera is brilliant, performance is also very decent. The casual gamer will not complain at all. And even the battery life, I mean, as an iPhone user, I was not complaining. Now, the funny thing is, all those people that I showed the Micromax Sliver 5, they actually gave me two different answers when I asked them, would they go for it? One was no, a clear no, which is for the fact that it's got the Micromax logo and it's got the Micromax branding. So there are apprehensions about the brand, and which is why they won't go for it. And that's a set of people which uses Samsungs and iPhones and HTCs. So you know what I'm talking about. And the other set of people, the budget conscious, those who are looking for a good price to performance ratio, when I asked them whether they would go for the Micromax Sliver 5, they all love the phone, don't get me wrong, but their deal was that I mean, I don't need such a slim phone. I'd rather go with a slightly thicker phone, and at this price point, better specs, a larger screen, maybe a sharper screen, full HD screen, and why not? So that kind of puts the Sliver 5 in no man's land, and I think it's all about perspective. So what do you think of the Sliver 5? Do you think Micromax has finally delivered a kick-ass phone that deserves the flagship tag, or do you think it still lacks on some account? Let me know in the comment section below, and if you have any questions about the phone, feel free to ask. I'll be more than happy to answer all your questions. And if you made it this far in the video, be nice, like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.